Right, so I've done my nails yesterday and I thought I'd cleaned my brush and I hadn't cleaned it well enough. So I'm just going to show you a quick video on what I do to clean my brushes. Look at all that crap in there. So I get a nail brush cleaner, nails brush cleaner, put it a little bit, you're going to need a little bit in the bottom of your dappen dish. And then what I do is I use thing and I just hold her to hold my brush and I just leave it in there just to soak up some of that liquid in them bristles, and then we'll clean it off. Right, it has literally only been in there for a few seconds, but as you can see, we just zoom in a bit. You can see my bristles are starting to spread out, and what I do is look, see there's stuff on it, that's the thing off the bottom of the jar. So what I do is I just put it in. I've got a dappen dish. These ones I find are too small for my brush, and the other one that I have, which is a candle holder that I bought from IKEA for 30p or something, it's too big. But you see, just put it in. Now this has got a conditioner in. I'd only recommend the Nails brush cleaner because it's got a conditioner in it, so it doesn't damage your brush. I have used this stuff for months. I've had it for years and never used it before because everyone's like, oh, because I got it in a kit. And that is it, my brush is ready to go. Look. My brush is clean, ready to go. Maybe you shouldn't have done that, but I did. But anyway, so there's my brush, ready to go. So I just dip it in, swirl it around, and then I just do that, and that's it, ready to go. It's really good. I should have really cleaned it with that last night, and I didn't. But let's get on with the video. Hello, welcome to my channel. In my new video, I'm going to do a recreation set of this neon set using Peacherbels. I love their neon colours. They're beautiful, right? I just thought I'd do an acrylic set because I'm going to use my Alpha size 2 3D brush. I've only ever used it once, and that was yesterday on that little pinky. So let's go. Right, as always, Peacherbel cover. So I will be putting this on my pinky finger, my ring finger, I have to look at my hands for this, and my middle finger. It's just a little tiny bit, just to give it a bit of a background colour really. Just yeah, just dip my brush in my liquid, dip it in my powder, and I just put a little swoosh down there. I'm not really too worried about the bottom because it's going to be covered in dots. My ring finger just gets a little tiny bit by the cuticle as well because I'm going to be doing sort of lines in colours of this. It's not like a marbling, that'll be for my ring finger, my middle finger, which I sugar. My finger looks like ropey in the light on my finger. Anyway, sorry, I'm looking at my hand like, yeah, so what I do here on my ring finger is I just get a little bit of the colour and I just make lines in it really. It's not marbling, it's just lines really, and I just sort of wash them a bit together. If you feel that your colour's getting washed out a bit, you can always just let it dry just a tiny bit and then just add a bit more colour to it. I just put it down quite wet really. It wasn't like a set I had in planned. I don't really plan sets because it never goes right when I try and actually do a plan. So I just do as I feel, and then, you know, if I'm happy with the result, I'm happy with the result. This was just, I know it's a random set, like the design, I'm sorry. The colours are the same, so it sort of ties the set together, but I was just like messing about really, and I was so happy to try my 3D brush yesterday. I was like, first time I've ever used it. Yeah, so I'm just going down the whole nail, putting down a bit of each colour. If I feel it's been washed out a bit, I just let it, the first layer dry and then add a little bit more on top just to bring that vibrance out again. Because they do sort of, because it's so watery, they do sort of mesh together. So I'm not, you know, it's nothing great really. No great shakes, ladies and gents. Right. This is the third time I've been doing this recording because I had the National Shielding Line contact me regarding my mum, and she knows everything and up to date with all the rules and regulations about ending her shielding. And then my husband phones me and tells me he bought himself a tool pan, but he's been looking one for ages, so that's all good. Right, so let's get back to the video at hand, eh? So on my middle finger, I'm now going to try and do a marbling. I'm not great at it, but I'm just dipping my brush in the liquid, dip it in the powder, and then drop it on, pop it on the nail, wipe it, and then do that again. So it's liquid, powder, nail, wipe, liquid, powder, nail, wipe. And then what you do is, once you put your last colour in, what I do is I wipe it, add a little bit of liquid, and try and get the tip to a point as much as possible. And then I just swirl it through, drag them colours. You can always add colours, you know, like I say before, if it gets a bit dry, you can add it. The reason I sugared it, because on my actual finger, the marbling was naff, proper naff. So that's why I just carried it on this set anyway. So now I'm using the yellow from Peacherbel's. It's a very nice nail. You know what? This on my index finger on thing turned out so much better, sorry, than my own actual index finger. Talk about being gutted. It was a really nice blend and everything, and that's why on my index finger I've got gems on it, just to cover up the fact that it looked crap. But I didn't do nothing on the thing. I left it as exactly how I wanted it to look at the originally. So I'm just putting down the yellow and just making sure that that top bit is smooth and that it's flat, and that when you do the blend you don't get to see such a solid line underneath. So then what I do is I go in with my Peacherbel cover, and then I just put that on the cuticle area, and I try and get the line straight at the bottom, so when I drag it, it's all in one even line. It's a bit like, ah, I mean, like, you know, ah. To be honest, I was quite happy the way this finger turned out. It turned out a lot better than my own. My own turned out shit. But yeah, so that's what I did. I just put a little bit more in, a little bit further down, just to bring that blend down a bit further, because I wanted it a bit further. And that's it, and that is all I did. Yeah. And then with the thumb, I just got my, first I've done it with my 3D brush, and I was like, nope, that's stupid. Just use your big brush. So there's me going, 3D brush, we do it with that. And then there's shit, so I'm like, nope, take that off. We're just like, you know, do it with the other brush, because it wasn't enough in there really. So yeah, I just got the big brush and done it with that. And I just blobbed it on, basically just blobbed it on. There weren't no rhyme or reason to it. It just went on, and that is it. And that is my set, and that is it. I was like, oh. So I've been quite happy, because I've had 2 weeks off work. I've actually got over a month's worth of videos going up. So if I stay ahead of myself, then I ain't got to worry about videos. So sometimes you might see a set of nails, and I'll be like, oh yeah, but I'm not really wearing them at the time, because it was done a while before. But yeah, so I just thought, you know, and then in the end it sort of looked like scaly. On my finger it sort of melted in a bit better. But on here, the colours are a bit too solid, but I won't bother about that. Yeah, I added a bit more yellow because it went a bit green and it was a bit faded, and then I added a bit more green. So you can always make that colour a bit more vibrant by adding a bit more powder. Once it's dried a bit, just add a little bit and it just makes that colour go pop. Right, now, here for my 3D brush work. This is the first time I've ever used it. I just got I mean, you don't realise how tiny these beads are. They're absolutely tiny. So I just got my bead and I bled it off a little, because what you do is you put your brush in the monomer and then pick up your bead, but your best thing to do is bleed it. So you just put it on a bit of tissue, soak out some of that liquid, so that you've got a bit more control over your bead, you know. So yeah, and then what you do is you just place it, and then you just pat and press, and just get, I weren't happy with that bead. If you're never happy with a bead, take it off straight away. Don't leave it on there. Take it off and start again. Oh, I didn't realise I didn't realise that bit was there either. So this might have been a bit too wet, this bead, but you just put it on and you basically let gravity make it just flow out into a circle itself. Gravity will make it do that, and then you just tidy it up as you go along. Some of them, like, in the end, I mean, the ones on my finger turned out a lot better than I thought. But I was really happy with this, you know, trying it. I just thought I'd never done it before. I think I might try and practice some more 3D work. Because I've got the brushes, I mean, I've got the kit, right? I might as well try it. So I'm now going in with an orange bead, and I was thinking, what colour? I was putting it down and I'm like making sure it's in shape, and I'm thinking, what colour am I missing? Yellow. So I did cut a bit out because it went a bit ropey. Yeah, but see, just pat and press, keep it in shape. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if it goes over the edge of the nail either, because once you've top coated it or clear coated it, and then you shape it, it just adds a bit of character, right? I quite like it anyway. So that's all my beads on. So now I'm getting some soft white, because I want to put it in my little finger. Because that's what I did, I just put a soft white in. So it's not a solid white, it's just a soft white. Yeah, and what I did was I just got a little bit and I just plumped it in. Maybe I should have put, once I put the white on, I was thinking maybe I should have put a little tiny bit of clear in it, just to fill the gaps. It doesn't matter, it's not a problem. But I'm just thinking maybe I should have. And you don't really need to cover the whole entire nail, it's not a problem. But I just did anyway. Yeah. Because I noticed that I'd missed some parts. Sorry. So I had to go back and put some bits in, and yeah, but you just make sure it's all covered, because you're going to file a lot of that colour away. Really, you're meant to just file it away. But I just thought see, with cover powders you don't really need to put a clear coat because they're strength. I'm assuming the white is the same, so I didn't put a clear coat on that nail at all. Didn't bother. Sorry. With the rest I did. So I just put my cuticle bead down, made sure it was nice and tidy around the cuticle and down the edges, and then I just gently dragged across the top. I didn't splat my brush in it, I just gently dragged it across the top, because then that way you get your apex. If you just, it's like you're pulling the top cover off of something and leaving everything underneath in the same place, right? And that's how I put my apex on. It's not always on point, but you know, the more videos I do, the more practice it will become, the better I'll be. To be honest, these were shaped a lot better than my own. I'm not very good at shaping either. I've got to really, I've got to practice. So what I did was I just put a clear coat over all of them. I don't think I put a clear coat on my index finger. I might have done. Oh no, I did. Because when you do a blend, because you've got to, even though the Peacherbel cover is a cover powder, so it's a strength, it doesn't need to be filed, the yellow is only a colour, so it needs to be filed. So the best thing for you to do is when you do a blend, just put a thin clear coat over the blend. You don't have to do it down the whole nail. I think I did just for the fact that I did. But it's the blend you'll want to protect, you know, and the colour that you've put on. Because you don't want to start filing and file that blend away when you're happy with that blend. So I just put a tiny little bit on. I mean, a real thin wash really, because the nail wasn't quite a good shape. I was quite happy with it. I didn't really need to do anything heavy duty to it. So I just put a thin coat on just to cover the nail really, just to make sure that it just had a little thin layer on just for protection. And then I've done it on the thumb. Now, once these were all covered, to be honest, once they're filed and everything, they're done. But I was like, yeah, see, just a little bit on the thumb. I tell you, they look really odd. They look so odd. I just thought I'd try it. I might just, I don't know. Sorry, sniffing and everything. That's not intentional. Right, so I think I'll show you what they look like now. Oh, are they filed and buffed? They are filed and buffed and ready to go. So I get a bit of rubbing out. No, I don't. I get a bit of isopropyl. Get a bit of nail varnish remover, pure acetone. And what you do is you just rub over the top of the nail, and then I've done that, and then I realised I forgot to buff them. So you file, buff, and then you wipe with acetone. So this is them now filed and buffed, right? Don't look too bad. Quite happy with that. See how my index finger looks all right? On my finger it looks shit. So what I did was I just put a glossy top coat on my pinky, which I was really happy with it, the way it turned out. I put a glossy top coat on that. To be honest with you, gloss doesn't, like, when you put a top coat on, it really makes a difference in the design. I feel like it makes it look better. Like, I wasn't happy with the look of my ring finger when it was dry, but when it was wet, I was quite happy with it actually. So I just top coated my pinky, my ring finger, and my tum, and then I got my middle finger. And then what I did was I got a top coat, a non-white top coat, I must add, because I don't have any other type. And then I just covered the whole entire nail with top coat, which I thought I'd done properly, but I'll point out in a minute that I missed a bit. And then I just get some diamond dust from Nail Sugar, and I just cover that puppy in diamond dust. Look, I absolutely coated it. And this is what I'd done to my finger last night. I absolutely coated it loads. And as I'm pouring it out, I'm thinking, I'm going to need to get some more. I didn't realise I had absolute loads of the diamond dust. And then just let it soak in, then tap some off. And then on my index finger, I just put a matte top coat, only because I'd done that on my finger. So let me know what you think. This is the finished set. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? So to brush off that ring finger, I mean the dusting powder one, I just got a toothbrush after and scrubbed it, and loads of it came out, but I wasn't stuck. So yeah, and I'm using my new light box for the pictures. So let me know what you think. This is them. What do you think? Let me know. Hit like, subscribe, and the bell. I shall see you in another video. Leave a comment below. I will leave a link to everything below in the box description, so you can go and link and see everything. This light box was really good. It's really nice and bright. I've just got to figure it out. It's a bit small when you get the whole hand in there, but I'll do a bit of jiggery pokery, and we'll get the whole hand in there to get some better pictures. But anyway, take it easy. You'll have a lovely day, whatever the day of the week is. And I shall see you later in another video. Take care. Ta-da. Bye.